Hello and welcome everyone, whether you're with us live or watching the replay. Thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to be with you all. And very special welcome to Anjani Harjeven, our guest today. Welcome, Anjani.
Thanks, Naomi. Thanks so much for having me.
It's so exciting to be launching our live stream series with you. And ladies, for all of you watching, this is a special moment. As many of you know, Anjani is the COO of WomHub, which is a boutique incubator and accelerator developing female founders in STEM, being science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing. And she's also the director of a number of WomHub's dynamic programs, which include clear focus on assisting participants to pitch effectively for funding and also for other support for their businesses. So she's going to share more about this in the course of our conversation. And so listen in and lean in, because Anjani has valuable insight and inspiration to share with you all. And please participate, ladies. We already have a hello from Deshi. Thank you, Deshi. She's saying she's really excited and expectant for this session. That's fantastic. Thanks for joining us. And all of you who are with us, please feel free to drop your comments in the section below the video, wherever you're watching. So that might be on LinkedIn, it might be on Facebook, and it might be on YouTube. And we'll respond. There's sometimes a slight delay, so bear with us, but we will see your comments. And for any of you who may not have met me, my name is Naomi, and I have the privilege and pleasure of being the communication and brand manager at WomHub. So we're super excited to bring you this interview with Anjani, and I'm going to ask you, Ange, to kick off by just sharing a little bit for our audience, who I'm sure you barely need any introduction. Many of them will know you, but it might be interesting for them to know a little bit more about your journey and what has brought you to do this wonderful work that you do today.
Sure. Thank you. And thank you so much for that warm introduction, Naomi. I have to just start off with saying we're really excited about the launch of this live stream series. I'm particularly excited that hopefully this is one of the few times you'll see me, because this is really about creating and sharing a platform to hear many different voices. So thank you so much. And to all of you that have joined, we're so looking forward to the series. And as Naomi said, please participate. Also, just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of you for joining us. It's been a tough day being a South African today. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say we're thinking of our members of our community who find themselves in the midst of the floods and the chaos in KZN today. We are with those of us who are in the midst of load shedding and coming out of a difficult time with certain instances in our community around crime and COVID. So there is a lot going on, but I think in that context, these kinds of conversations become really, really important where we have an opportunity to connect. So just wanted to kick off with that. But yes, so a little bit about me. I think probably most of our founders know my background, and that really is from a very young age, having a really curious mind and really looking at how do we support, build, and enhance people through their journeys in life, and kind of accidentally found myself in the world of change management and transformation. And so I've led for over 20 years large-scale transformation programs within organizations on tech projects, and even in financial crime within the financial services sector. And so that's kind of got me developing and thinking about how is it that we further focus on developing women and developing people to their full potential. I have then kind of developed this very close relationship with WomEng and WomHub, and in 2019 had the privilege of joining permanently as the COO. And really on this journey to say, how do we start creating more diverse and inclusive spaces for women across the entire ecosystem? So from young girls wanting to just kind of go, is there space for me in STEM, through to kind of building confidence and innovation for young women as they enter the workplace, and then ultimately thinking about how do we create totally inclusive spaces for our awesome entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs in the space, and that's the work that WomHub now focuses on.
And it's super exciting. Thank you for sharing that, Ange. And I also want to just acknowledge Cindy Siwe, who says hello. Hi, Cindy. So lovely to
Hey,
have you.
Cindy, thanks for joining.
Yes, and we have a LinkedIn user who says evening with a wave. Won't you just give us your name? I don't see your name there. And Komotso
Yes.
says, I'm beaming with excitement, Anjani Harjeven and Naomi. Welcome, Komotso. It's lovely to have you all with us.
Thanks. And these are such champions of ours, so it's wonderful to have you on this live stream tonight.
Yes, it's so exciting. And we're going to chat a little bit more about the pitching and the pitching videos from some of this amazing community, which is so inspiring. So, Ange, can we just go a little deeper into how our audience can really benefit personally and professionally from learning how to pitch successfully? Because I know there's a number of different ways that it can help them.
Yeah, absolutely. So much to those of our community who've kind of worked closely with us, they'll know pitching is an essential part of the kind of thing work that we do. And they often find out very late in the program that, oh my gosh, I've got to put this together. But personally and professionally, it is a really, really important skill. And for two primary reasons. The one is that it's an opportunity to really sell your idea, your innovation, your business to a set of stakeholders, to investors, or to someone who you just want to kind of position your proposition with. But secondly, it's also an awesome way to learn how to package what it is that you do. Because so many of us kind of in our hearts know what it is that we do. And if we kind of have unlimited time, we can sort of explain what we do. But that kind of packaging around how do I explain this in a really simple, easy, and kind of convincing way is something that takes practice. And that becomes a really, really important skill as you want to take people on the journey with you.
Yes, fantastic, Ange. I couldn't agree more. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are dropping us hearts and likes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and one of the other things I must say, just we've got our LinkedIn user who said, excited on learning new ideas on how to pitch. Fantastic. Just drop us your name if you're on LinkedIn. For some reason, I think we're seeing your names from Facebook, but possibly not from LinkedIn. So just give us your name. And what I also wanted to say, what I've witnessed from having seen some of this process on the programs, Anjani, is that it's so supportive to be able to be helped through this. And having also been an entrepreneur for 20 years myself, it can be really scary to do something like this on your own and to gather the courage to be able to put yourself out there. As Michelle says, pitching is always stressful until you start. Brilliant. You know
Absolutely.
your business the best. Exactly. Sorry, I think I dropped out there, and I'm hoping that my connection is going to last. It should do. And
Okay.
for those of you watching, Anthony had a last-minute drop in Eskom as well. So this was a
Never a
challenge.
dull moment. Yeah.
Never a dull moment. So, Ange, what have you witnessed on your wealth of experience as some of the key challenges that female founders in particular face in relation to, well, building their businesses, but also pitching for funding?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Michelle said it so well. You know, our founders, the incredible members of our community that we get to work with, know their business the best. And so that's never up for debate. But as I said earlier, it's around really the challenge and the stretch for them is how do I put this together in a story that is something that I can take with me and kind of explains not only the journey that I've walked, but also where I want to get to. And I think a number of women have challenges with kind of taking ownership of that and saying, you know, I believe in what I do. I believe that there's greatness that can come out of this, and this is how I want to take this forward. And so I think, you know, part of kind of the learning, but also the importance of the pitch process is how you start putting all those pieces together. And some of it is around self-reflection and how you show up personally. But also a lot of it is how you practice the content of what it is that you want to say. And start thinking about putting those puzzle pieces together and making sure that it's balanced and it is the kind of optimal representation of what it is that you do and you have to offer the world.
Yeah, so beautifully put, Ange, in a nutshell. And Ndeshi says, Cholofela Magi, straight facts. Brilliant. And Nafolo says, great to be here with wonderful ladies. Thank you. And thanks for giving your name. Mankedi's giving us hearts. And Maklangu is saying, great to be part of the session. Thank you, ladies. And one of the things that you touched on there is that piece of self-belief and belief in really, what you have to offer and the confidence to present that, as you say, like really in a really impactful way. So for any of the ladies on the session who might not have gone through the pitching process with WomHub, how does WomHub go about supporting female founders with the pitching process and their businesses?
Yeah, so the founders on the call who have been through the program will say that we jerk them out of their comfort zone, but that's not all that we do. I think it is something that we start talking about very early on in the learning process. So on our programs, it is a relationship and it is a journey that is built. And so quite early on, we get founders to start thinking about a kind of diagnosis of where am I and what is my business, and have I been really thoughtful about what my business is, who my target market is, and what my offering is. And then we walk with them on a journey to really unpack then what is the future potential of that business, where do I want to get to, what is the kind of primary focus of what I want to develop. And then we start really giving them very practical tools and skills about how to tell that story. And what we start getting to then is the different components of the pitch, because there's three really, really key parts to a pitch for it to be successful. So the one is the story, which talks to the heart. And that is about who are you? Why did you do this in the first place? Where does this come from? And that's something that is very impactful for founders, because they kind of go on this journey and don't often have the space, the personal space, to just kind of think about, why did I do this and how do I go back to that? So that's kind of the first element, is that personal story. The second element then is thinking about, how do I articulate how big this can be, and how the vision can be realized. And this is something that we often have to stretch our incredible women on, because I think that we often limit ourselves around what the potential of this is. So we really get them to think around, what does the future look like? So geographically, how big can this be? Financially, how big can this be? Have I really considered my target market out there? And then finally, it is about, what is it that the stakeholders that you are pitching to really want to know? So when it comes to the really, really important piece around funding, it is around, how do you start telling the nuts and bolts of the story when it comes to how this business is going to be commercially viable? What are the returns that can be expected? How is it that an investor can benefit from partnering with you, or a collaborator can benefit from partnering with you? So those three components then come together through various pieces of learning, and then ultimately we put everyone of our programs through a pitch off, and give them that very real life practice of, how do I do this when there's skin in the game and there's stakes. So whether that be investors in the room or a prize up for grabs, we give our female founders that opportunity to package their pitch and to participate in the pitch off.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Ange. And I'm sure the ladies on the line who have been through this will attest to the value. And I've seen it just in terms of how they can really develop that confidence and exactly the packaging, as you're saying. And just a shout out quickly to Yusuf, who said, great to be here as one of the business mentors. Fantastic.
Yes, he's amazing. Thank you, Yusuf, for joining. We've had such incredible feedback. And this is another part of the process, Naomi, is that, it's kind of an all-rounded approach to how you support female founders and their businesses and their growth and their intentional growth, right? So it is about our mentors that we partner them with, the venture clinics that they get to participate in, and also those masterclasses teaching very real skills about how you do this and how you take your business forward. So thanks,
Yes.
Yusuf.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ange. And Elizabeth Giza also says, I'm finally in. Super excited. Fantastic. Elizabeth.
Awesome.
That's exciting. So, Ange, and obviously it's a very comprehensive masterclass that you go through, from the storytelling to the presentation to the packaging, all of it. And phenomenal also from the point of view of the sounding board, because even I know personally from sharing our stories publicly and in relation to our business, that is sometimes something we question as well, like how much should we really share, what is really relevant, how personal should we be, and all of those questions. So I don't know if you can just crystallize in a nutshell a couple of key tips for members of our audience to bear in mind in regard to pitching.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it is, first of all, is think about your audience. So who are you talking to? Because the pitch needs to be crafted depending on who you're talking to. And one of the things that we often find is that founders need a lot of work, and they kind of go, okay, but give me more direction. You know, should I have a script? And the reality is that at a base level, you should be able to have your kind of standard, I guess, packaged pitch that you're able to do it. But the work comes in thinking about who is it that I'm pitching to in this particular instance, and therefore, how do I need to nuance and craft that message to make sure that I'm meeting the objective of that meeting. And so when we think very practically around pitching to an investor, for example, you know, yes, they're absolutely invested in the root of the story and where it comes from, but you can't stop there. You know, you've got to be able to take it further and say, so what is the benefit of investing in my business and coming forward? When it comes to pitching, for example, to partners or potential opportunities for collaborators, then it's slightly different, because they would be interested in more of the story and more of the potential of what does this growth look like, and how could I go for that, you know? So we work quite hard at working with the founder to say, understand what that base is, but then you've got a basket of tools that you start developing over time, which says, for this particular need, what do I need to pull in to build on that story, and what do I need to take out for particular needs? And one of the strategies around this that our founders absolutely are kind of call us out on is time, right? Because with the restriction of time, and we, you know, do this very often to our founders, where we kind of put them under time pressure. But the limited time then allows you to think about, what are the key messages in my base pitch that I need to focus on? And what is it that in my story I really want to be able to tell in kind of 2 minutes or less, that is absolutely key to my business, and what you need to know about my business in order to stay interested.
Yes, it's very stressful. I understand this, but it's extremely impactful. And from all of my years in video as well, I've seen so many times how incredibly much more powerful your message can be in that short little space of time. And 2 minutes it's I see I'm losing myself sometimes. I'm not sure why. My connection.
It's okay, you're back now.
Oh, back. Okay, but very impactful. And so I just want to say good job for WomHub, but also for all the founders who do get into this, because sometimes, as you mentioned, one of the hardest things can be, what do I cut out? But it's so important and so valuable. So keeping an eye on the time, because there's quite a few things we want to cover. And I just wanted to ask if you have any inspirational special highlights or stories to share of some of the WomHub alumni who have successfully pitched for funding that might be inspiring for others in our audience.
Yeah, I mean, too many to tell and specifically call out. And we've had the privilege of seeing so many incredible businesses come through the space. And so rather than call out specifics, I'd love to talk about what has made those pitches so special and so memorable to us. And I think if I think about kind of our in-person ones that we've had the privilege of seeing, you know, those ones that have really stood out for us are those where there's absolute authenticity in the message. So often when we do this work, we find that founders try and package it in such a way that it is well presented and it is, I heard something and I think I want to emulate that. And the risk there is that you lose some of that authenticity. And so coming back to, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I have to offer the world. Those are the ones that absolutely stand out for us. The second is those who are crisp and clear. So founders who have come to us and said, this is my business. This is what I'm, this is what is possible for me. This is what I am absolutely capable of delivering. And this is what that looks like in terms of numbers, in terms of future growth, and in terms of an investment opportunity. That crispness and that clarity definitely lends itself to successful pitches. And then the other thing is how you package that. And unfortunately, that presentation part of it is such an important part of the pitch. So those who kind of have confidence in how they project themselves. And Naomi, you'll know, you've worked with our founders on this as well, is that in a world where video is becoming almost as important as the in-person pitch, those founders who think about how do I come across, how do I kind of position myself, how do I show up, which is what we talk about all the time. Do you see the light in my eyes? Those kinds of personal characteristics really stick out. People want to see your energy. People want to see that you believe in this, because if you believe in it, why wouldn't they? So that kind of personal heart that you have in your business, in your idea, and into how you want to grow and take it forward is also an absolute key to success.
Yes, so well said, Ange. I 100% agree with you. That's fantastic. And also what you mentioned earlier, to always keep your audience in mind. Who is that one person that you're speaking to? And it's so valuable on video also to be able to do that, to look into that lens and have that person in mind. And one of the things, just with this authenticity, it's so special when we're watching, some of the founders with their pitches, when you really do, you feel it hit you in the heart. And one of the quotes that I love to share from Dr. Maya Angelou, and most of you will probably have heard this, it's so valuable to keep in mind when you're on video, well, and in any scenario, where she said, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And yeah, that can really hit home for you. Fantastic. So, Ange, there's such a lot to share with regard to the very exciting WomHub Founders Showcase that's coming up next month.
Yeah,
Would you like to explain a bit? I know some of the ladies on the call will know about it and some won't necessarily. So will you share a bit about this event and what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, those that are on the current cohorts will very much know about it, because they are in the throes of this process right now. And, hats off to all of them. Our founders have put in such incredible amounts of effort into their pitches. It's because we're on a journey. So our current cohorts, we've got 2 incredible programs on the go at the moment. Those founders will be coming together in a showcase on the 12th of May, where, it will really kind of summarize and culminate all of their learnings into this showcase, where they have the opportunity to pitch to investors, to industry leaders, and to key stakeholders who could offer access to market and access to supply chains at an event at our offices in Rivonia and Johannesburg, where we've got 50 founders who will be present on the day. So that's going to be an absolutely incredible experience. But the run up to that has been practice, 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 prepare, prepare, prepare. So the pitches have all been submitted to us. And as I said, kind of taking you out of your comfort zone, giving the founders very strict timelines and deadlines, and kind of, video requirements and all of that. So it starts with all of the founders needing to submit their videos to us. Those are tomorrow going live onto YouTube, and that's open to everyone to have a look at, so that you get to see the incredible work that is being done by South African female entrepreneurs in spaces within STEM that will blow your mind. And I think, you know, if anyone watching this has an opportunity, go and have a look, watch the pictures, like their videos. They've put in so much work to it. It's an incredible opportunity for you to get to know more about what women are doing in the space. They then enter those videos into a virtual pitch-off. And so they've kind of got the kind of pre-prepared pitch experience where they get to record a video. They then come into a live pitch-off competition, which is a closed event, and they will be judged on their live pitches based on feedback they've received from us, and those are externally judged. And then once we've kind of got the winners from that process, those founders who are successful out of that pitch-off then attend the in-person event and pitch again to that live audience that I spoke to you about. So it is, we are going into the kind of next 3 weeks of pitching, but really it is because this is about what's the next step for all of our incredible founders. Where do they go to from here? How do they grow? And how do they get their incredible stories and their incredible businesses out there so that they can progress further? So watch this space.
Watch the space. Yes, super exciting. And I just want to endorse what you're saying. It's so inspiring to watch these videos and see what these ladies are doing, the ideas they have and the way that they're implementing them and the change that they're bringing about in the world is phenomenal. And so also just with regard to hopping onto our WomHub YouTube channel, here's Aditi. She said, we were excited for the Founder Showcase. Thanks, Aditi, for joining us. And Aditi has said she's been running with the social media on this, and she says the more you can comment, like, and share on the videos on YouTube for our ladies, there will be a People's Choice Award, and that's going to really help your favorites if you go and interact. So hop on over to the WomHub video YouTube channel. And here's someone else, a LinkedIn user. She says, wow, Anjani, I'm glad to be part of WomHub and the history making. And it's shameful. Fantastic. And congrats to you and to all of you who have submitted such fantastic videos. And Bata says, super keen for the Founder Showcase. Thank you, Bata, for joining us. Brilliant. It's going to be so exciting. We have 2 minutes left, Ange. Do you have any final thoughts to share with our wonderful audience? And thanks again to them all for their hearts and their lives. Just to leave them with as a final drop of inspiration.
Yeah, so I think first of all, just to say that People's Choice Award is also just recognizing that we need to support each other. And as people tell their stories, you know, the more you tell your story and the more support you get, the more that builds you up. And that's all part of the process. So please do like and share. You know, People's Choice Awards kind of always go, oh, you know, do I want to put myself out there? But we really want to show these incredible women that they've got a story to tell. We believe in their businesses, and so do others. And so please, you know, go out there, watch the videos, and look for opportunities. The second thing is that as you kind of prepare and put yourself forward and put yourself out there to each and every one of our founders, and those of you who are watching, who are preparing to pitch, whether that be in a corporate context, whether that be as an entrepreneur, whether that be in a job interview, which is also a personal pitch, you know, really stay authentic, find that space of belief in yourself. As we say at WomHub, own your awesome. Because you are, but also, you know, continue to be kind to yourself and realize that it takes practice, and it is a process. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. And you know, we need to continue supporting each other and make sure that we build each other up so that we continue to achieve greatness.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ange. Couldn't have said it better. And Otolo says super exciting. Fantastic.
Thank
So we're
you.
almost at the half hour. And thank you to all of you for joining us, and especially you, Ange, for your insights and your inspiration as always. And please continue to follow the live stream series, all of you. We'll be live every second week, Tuesday evenings. And you're welcome to drop some more comments if you want to on topics that you'd love to hear about. We would love to connect with you further. So thanks again, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. And stay connected with WomHub on www.womhub.com and also all of our social media channels. We would love to hear from you. So thank you. And thank you to you, Naomi.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ange.
Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.